If you've been burned for believing the best in people, if someone took your openness and used it against you, and now a voice in your head keeps telling you that your trust was just foolishness all along, I want you to know this. You're not naive. You're still willing to trust, and that willingness, after everything, is not a weakness. It's a kind of courage most people quietly gave up on years ago. Naive is the word the cynical used to feel superior to the open-hearted. It implies that anyone who extends trust simply hasn't learned better yet, that they're operating on a child's understanding of a hard world. And so when someone hurts you for trusting them, the lesson the world rushes to teach you is that the hurt was your own fault. You should have known. You were too trusting. You were naive. As if the betrayal says something about you, rather than about the person who chose to betray. Let me tell you about someone. I'll call him Marcus. Marcus was the kind of person who lent money to friends without a contract, who assumed people meant what they said, who gave second chances freely, and one year, someone he trusted deeply let him down in a way that cost him badly. Money, time, a friendship he thought was real, and in the aftermath, everyone around him said the same thing. Well, you were too trusting, Marcus. You've got to be more careful. You're so naive. So Marcus made a decision, the way a lot of us do after we're hurt. He decided he would never be that open again. He'd assume the worst. He'd protect himself. He'd become the kind of person nobody could call naive. And for a while, it felt like wisdom. It felt like he'd finally grown up. But here's what Marcus slowly discovered. The armor worked. Nobody could hurt him the way that person had, but nobody could reach him either. The same wall that kept out the betrayers, kept out the friends. The closeness he'd always had, the easy warmth people felt around him, it dried up. He protected himself from being fooled by trading away the very thing that had made his life rich. And one day, it occurred to him that being hard to fool is a strange thing to organize your whole heart around. A locked house is safe from thieves. It's also empty. There's real science under this. The neuroeconomist Paul Zak spent years studying what happens in the body when we trust and are trusted in return. He found that acts of trust trigger the release of oxytocin, a chemical deeply tied to connection and well-being, and that people who trust more, on the whole, are not the suckers we imagine. They tend to be happier, healthier, and even more prosperous over a lifetime. Because trust is the thing that makes cooperation possible at all. Yes, the trusting occasionally get burned. But the cynical, who trust no one, pay a quieter and far steadier price. They forfeit the connection that trust alone can build. So, the cynic's math is wrong. They count the times. Trust cost you, and ignore the 1,000 times it paid off invisibly, in friendships kept, in love made possible, in a life where people could actually get close. Trust isn't naivety. It's a bet, made with open eyes, that the richness of connection is worth the occasional cost of being wrong. So here are 3 things I want you to understand about what's really happening. First, your trust was never the flaw. The betrayal was. When someone breaks faith with you, the failure of character is theirs, not yours. Choosing to see the best in people is not a mistake, just because some people fall short of it. You are not responsible for the dishonesty of others. Second, there's a difference between naive trust and wise trust, and you don't have to choose between trusting everyone and trusting no one. Wise trust still extends openness, but it watches what people do, not just what they say, and it lets trust be earned in steps. You can stay open and still be discerning. The two were never enemies. Third, the capacity to trust again after being hurt is one of the rarest forms of strength there is. Anyone can close off after betrayal. That's the easy, automatic move. To have been wounded and to choose, deliberately, to keep your heart available anyway. That is not the act of someone who learned nothing. It's the act of someone who refused to let one person's cruelty rewrite who they are. Ernest Hemingway once said that the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. He understood something the cynic never will. Certainty about people comes only after the leap, never before it. And a life spent waiting for proof that it's safe to open up is a life spent permanently closed. So don't let one betrayal turn you into someone you're not. You were never naive. You were brave enough to stay open in a world that punishes openness, and that bravery is worth protecting, not surrendering. Trust wisely, watch what people do, but for the love of your own one wild heart, don't lock the house and call it wisdom. Stay reachable. It was always your best quality.